All right, guys, we're driving another full weekend. I'm gonna tell you some things not to do. So in our last video, we talked about a lot of tips, but you don't wanna make certain mistakes that could drastically waste your time and cost you money. So let's get right into it. Okay, so one thing you really don't want to do, and on this channel and on my twin brother's channel, Your Driver Mike, we tell you to be strategic when you're choosing your orders. Don't just accept every single order thinking that that is a good strategy because you're quote unquote busy. You want to be busy, that's correct. You want back-to-back orders. And if you're getting them frequently coming in, that may seem like a good thing, right? Well, if you're automatically accepting any order that comes in, not looking at the mileage or really the pay, you could be driving far outside of where the restaurants are just to make that money. So think about this. If you have a trip that is 6 miles and you're getting paid $6, that's $1 per mile. What we like to see is you being at $1.75 or $2 pay per mile. So you can see this on Uber Eats and DoorDash. Grubhub does not tell you the mileage, so you have to use your best judgment. But again, if your order is $12 and you're driving 6 miles, that's $2 pay per mile. So don't automatically accept the rides because you could be going far away from all of the restaurants, and that is not a good strategy. So this is probably one that I get burned with the most. So if you're an Uber Eats driver or a Grubhub driver, if you get an extra order while you're on another order, that's called a stacked order on Uber Eats and an add-on for Grubhub. So you don't want to just blindly accept those, and here's why. Well, on these apps, they only show you the cross streets. So it might say Apple Street and Main Street, but you won't see exactly where that is. It's just gonna pop up as a stacked order request on your screen. And I'll try to find some examples for you, but you have to make that decision relatively quickly. You could be driving, you definitely want to look at this order, maybe pull over to a safe area so you can look at it, but you're not gonna have much time. So just keep that in mind. If you accept these orders, it might be further away from where you want to be. If you can, I've recommended pulling up Waze or a GPS app. Let's say you're about to make a delivery. If you can type it in relatively quickly, then you can do that to check. But just keep that in mind. Don't automatically accept them. You can, again, but you run the risk of driving pretty far away. So this is going to be a 2-for-1. Number one, you don't want to just drive on one app. Now, we call this multi-apping. Driving on more than one app at the same time, only when you're going for orders or looking for orders. Once you find an order and you're multi-apping, you want to go offline on the other apps. So let's say I'm online with Uber Eats and DoorDash. I accept an Uber Eats order. I want to go into DoorDash and go offline or pause my dash. Now, I wouldn't recommend ending your dash because you're probably going to use it again. But just keep that in mind. You don't have to just drive one app. Once you become familiar with these, you can go online with multiple apps, and that will give you many more requests coming in so you can choose the most profitable one for you. So making a delivery is pretty straightforward. Well, not always. We definitely recommend, if you're using, well, you should be using your food saver bag, those bags that come as a Grubhub driver, as a DoorDash driver, take a picture of that bag and the address if you can. So I'm gonna pop up an example right here for you, but this protects you. Number one, it shows great customer service that you've been using this bag to keep their food hot or cold. Number two, it protects you because sometimes the customer, on occasion, and this is very rare, but they may say, I never received the order. Well, then there needs to be proof that you're at the correct location. I've actually had it where I was absolutely positive that I delivered at the correct address. I looked at the numbers, I confirmed everything. And in DoorDash, they actually show you a preview of the home or location that you're delivering to. So there's really no chance that you'll be at the wrong location per se. But some customers say that they haven't received their order, and that is for a variety of reasons that we're not going to go into. But you want to protect yourself as a driver. So if you can, make sure to snap a picture of the food, the bag, and the address. So I'll make this one quick, but it really goes without saying, if you think you're gonna make more money accepting multiple orders on different apps, don't do that. That's a huge mistake. If you're accepting Uber Eats orders and accepting DoorDash orders at the same time, thinking, well, it's close enough, no one's gonna be able to tell. Any delay, then they're gonna see that. There's estimated times of pickup. So if you're a few minutes late and this happens over and over and over, you're going to get deactivated. So don't do that. It's a really bad strategy, and I just wanted to say that here quickly. So I just want to address something really quick and just pause. So if you're watching this video and you're a new driver, or maybe you've been driving Uber Eats and you're thinking about starting on DoorDash or what have you, let me just say this. The thing with these apps is that they're not hard, and that's what makes them hard. You tend to overthink things. There's so many tips and tricks and what not to do that we talk about on this channel, but here's the thing. You can immediately go online and make money. So these are tips to make sure that you don't waste your time. So my advice, it's not all doom and gloom. Get out there and get comfortable first. Then assess your marketplace. Well, I'm driving on Uber Eats. Is it slow? Maybe I should try DoorDash. Maybe I should try Grubhub. And then you can get more comfortable. But the whole point is for you to maximize your time on the road. So let's get back out there and give you some more examples. So this one will actually 100% save you money. So don't make the same mistake that I did when I was starting, which is why I'm happy to share it with you. So when your phone is using GPS from DoorDash or Grubhub, Uber Eats, it's constantly pinging your phone. So constantly checking your location. And when that happens, that can really drain your battery. So make sure to bring a phone charger, because I've had it where I've had all day long and I'm an hour or two in and my phone dies. So I've had to waste so much time not having my phone when I'm free to drive. So make sure to bring that. And if you're like me, you probably have 1 or 2 phone chargers that just for some reason stop working. So make sure to have 2 in your car, and then you'll always be ready to drive. So that's a lot of what not to do, but here's something you should do. So earlier we talked about stacked orders where you get 2 requests on the same trip. So what you can do is actually look at the mileage. So I actually recently, I just got this stacked order, and I wasn't quite sure. Again, it only shows me the cross street. So it shows me the intersection, but not a map of the location. So I was a little unsure. So I actually looked at the mileage. It was about 3.4 miles for the trip. And I said, well, the dollars per mile are good because I'm making around $7.50, I think it was. So the dollars per mile were good. I accepted it. And then I went into my Waze app and I plugged it in just to double check where am I going. And turns out it's in a really good area close to all the restaurants or power strips. So look at the mileage. That's something you can do when you get these stacked orders, specifically on Uber Eats, because again, Grubhub doesn't show you the mileage, but that's a little tip for you. You definitely want to do that. So those are some really good starter tips. I'm actually back here at the Your Driver Mike HQ. So that's my twin brother's channel. But one other thing that you want to avoid, you want to avoid forgetting or not bringing your food saver bag. And this is really important because when you go into a restaurant, you can oftentimes bypass or basically go to the end of the line, if you will, and pick up that order. So typically there's a pay area and then a pickup area in most restaurants. So when you have your bag, the staff will see, okay, you're a DoorDash driver or you're a Grubhub driver, and you can get in and get out a lot faster, and that's gonna save you time. So don't forget your bag, make sure to be prepared, and you can actually get those at Mike's Amazon storefront. We'll put a link in the description, but you can always use the ones that come as a driver. So Grubhub, DoorDash, make sure to bring those bags. So as always, this channel is meant to give you the tips and tricks for you to maximize those earnings when you're on the road. So if you like this content, if you learned something on this video, make sure to drop a like and consider subscribing for weekly videos and more tips. So again, this is Matt on my channel, Your Driver Team Matt. I am Mike's twin brother. I'm a part of the Your Driver Mike team. Can't wait to see you in the next video, and we'll see you then.